The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy. It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I'm Eric Clark, your host, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my little video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think others are going to like it, give it a share. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you are following me on all the social media platforms. That way, if there's a band, song, video, something you want me to check out, hit me up with a DM or leave it in the comments below. If you are going to hit me up with a DM, please no spamming, unless it's actual spam, and then there's a mailing address down there. Also, if you're going to leave it in the comments, become a concurpa. Join the I Concur Army. All you have to do is give the comments a cursory glance. If you see your suggestion's been made or you see another suggestion that you think is pretty cool, leave a like and reply with I Concur. That helps my old burnout resin-coated DJ brain get everything into a nice little organized list, and I can put it in the handy-dandy notebook. Also, every Wednesday and Saturday, we do our live stream, 2 hours of fun and frivolity, and your opportunity, again, to get me your suggestion, ask me questions about radio, tell stories about backstage, things like that. So it's just 2 hours of hanging out, chatting about pop culture, no religion, no politics. Every Wednesday and Saturday, 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. respectively, Central Time, here in the U.S. Before we get started in today's video, I do want to say thank you to Connect 200, Music to See, and Aunt Betty's Nut Butter. They are the proud sponsors of The Wild Side with Eric Clark, and to them, I say thank you. Today's video is coming from social media, and I always ask people, if you're going to suggest a track for me, just do me a favor, provide a link to the version you would like me to react to or respond to or break down or whichever that may be. So I just click the links. I rely on my concurpas, my concurring Sherpas, to guide me through everything I don't know about the bands. So today we're checking out a track called Dying for an Angel by Avantasia. And this was released in 2010, I believe, from the Wicked Symphony. And it's featuring Klaus, Meine of the Scorpions. And I've got I think I know this, and I'll tell you why I think I know it, but I don't think I'm familiar with it. So I rely on my concurpas to fill me in with everything I need to know about Avantasia, the album, the band, the history, all that stuff. That's why you guys are here. I just click the link and we hit play, and that's what we're going to do. It is Avantasia, Dying for an Angel, featuring Klaus, Meine, the legend from the Scorpions. Here we go. That's a good breakdown. Good breakdown. Ooh, he did the grab. Did the grab. There you go. Avantasia featuring Klaus, Meine of the Scorpions, Dying for an Angel. That's a good mainstream track right there. You know, a lot of times in our industry, we use certain words as pejoratives, as insults, if you will. People say things like mainstream and formulaic, and I always liken it to a phrase like conspiracy theory. And it's been made into a bad thing over time because of the overwhelming amount of formulaic mainstream stuff. But the flip side of the pejorative mainstream is the mainstream that is appealing to mass audiences. That's the mainstream. That's a good mainstream because you want to be able to reach, you know, when you're doing, this is where I get into these conversations with fans of bands and listeners where I try to get folks out of their hallway by explaining that if you're a band, you don't shoot bullets. Ironically, we use phrases like number one with a bullet, but that's not the goal of a performer. Your goal is to widen your scope. That's a really good sound, good rich sound. At the beginning, I was thinking, you know, it's familiar, and here's why I made a connection with this when someone brought it up. All the way back in 2010, Scorpions came through Nashville with Rat, and I think it was Bridgestone Arena. I'd have to check my tickets or my stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was the summer of 2010. So prior to going down, my boss was going over, because he was doing the interview with the band, so he was going over some stuff, and he had mentioned that Klaus had done a feature on a band. And he was like, man, I should bring that up. Because you're always looking for, not gotcha questions, but let's see how deep I can go with these guys. So I thought I was familiar with it, but I'm not. But I am, because what makes the song so appealing to that mainstream is the classic thread that is rolling through that track with the modernity of that fresh color pattern that comes through the guitar and the bass. I don't know if the drummer upset anybody, but it was kind of cool to see at the end the drummer finally gets some camera time. But it's like, dude, if you piss somebody off, man, because you are not in this video at all. It's like that Extreme video, More Than Words, where right in the middle of it, two of them get up and leave. And you're like, hey, where'd everybody go? But that's a really good, rich, traditional sound for rock and roll. Here's what I like about Scorpions, what I like about bands like that is the cult. It's rock and roll, man. You can put all kinds of labels on it, but that's a good rock song right there. It had that tone of Scorpions because Klaus Meine is bringing such a legendary tone to the song. And I believe I'm going to get the guy's name wrong. I should have written it down. Toby, lead singer Toby. He's got a really good voice too. He's got that really good rock sound, gravelly. He's got the grit but he also has the cleanliness. So there's sharpness to his tone, but it's not forcing its way. It blends very smooth, and he harmonizes very well with Klaus' Meine. So that the vocals, the harmonization of the vocals are really cool because they're similar but distinct. And that guitar player, dude, that solo was a history lesson of rock. That sound, right? That you say it sounds familiar, but I've never heard it before, but there's a reason it sounds familiar, because it captures this foundational tone in the solo that is crisp and clean, and it brings those summer colors in, and the bass and the drums are providing that foundation, that earth foundation. So then the guitars and the vocals between Toby and Klaus are just really creating a wonderful color spectrum of those fresh, the fresh, clean colors that you're looking for in your head. So very well done. Avantasia, Dying for an Angel featuring Klaus Meine. And I will say this, the Scorpions meet and greet was pretty awkward. It was really weird. It was one of the more clinical meet and greets I had ever done. Like, we're standing in the hallway, and the guy comes out, and he says, "Hey, man, when you go in, here's how we're going to do it." And that always happens. Someone will come out, usually a guy with a shoulder bag or a backpack, and he'll tell you, "Hey, here's what's going on." So right before we go in, he tells everybody, "By the way, no touching the band. No handshakes, no fist bumps, nothing. Go up, stand there, get your picture taken, and move on." And I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell you something right now. It was really weird because they didn't move. Aside from like a smile and a nod, it felt like standing near wax figures. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is Scorpions. This is Klaus Schenker. This is Scorpions. And you're not allowed to be like, "Hey, man, cool." So it was really just kind of a picture of me, standing there leaning in on the side. It was very weird. Good show, though. Great show. So, yeah, great tune. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Again, if you have a suggestion, hit me up with a DM. Leave it in the comment section. All my socials are posted down below. We also do the live stream on Wednesday at 11 a.m. and Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time here in the U.S., the Wyldeside Live. So plenty of opportunities for you to get me your suggestions and help guide me through this world of music with which I may be unfamiliar. And thank you very much for being my Sherpas and being members of the I Concur Army, my Concurpas. I'm going to make that word work, by the way. I came up with it the other day, and I think I'm going to just keep saying it until it absolutely sticks. And thank you very much for everybody in the I Concur Army. I see it everywhere. I laugh every time I see it. It is absolutely hilarious. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. Thank you to Connect 200, Music to See, and of course, Aunt Betty's Nut Butter. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wyldeside.